Welcome back to the realistic road to glory here on FC24. We start with the Bristol Street Motors Trophy today against Lincoln, which will obviously be simulating, and we plough on further through the calendar. Wigan at home is a very big game. They've obviously picked up their points deduction in this save because we've manually altered it for them. Carlisle away is also there. We've got Lincoln again at home in the league. Portsmouth away, and we will probably get as far as Bolton as well today. We'll sim the cup game, we'll sim Carlisle, we'll probably sim Lincoln as well, play Portsmouth, Bolton and Wigan, and that will get us towards the end of November, and then we can plough on towards, well, we're not far away from the January transfer window, are we? And we do have some money to spend, of course. With the transfer budget being updated, we currently have £629,525.70 to spend in the upcoming transfer window based on our original transfer budget and the player sales that we've added to that. So, very, very pleased indeed to have been able to raise some money, but we need to maintain our current league form. We made the sliders harder yet still at the end of the last episode and picked up a draw against Reading. I still anticipate falling off the current run of form, but whilst it continues, we will enjoy it. And if we go up with this squad, well, at the minute, most of this squad is actually leaving at the end of the season. It's going to be a massive overhaul in January and in the summer. And if we go up with the current squad and or players that we might bring in that would only be limited by the current highest rated player, which is Bennett at 67, then that squad is going to really struggle in the Championship next season, and that might be where the longevity and reining in of the club's progression comes in. We might find ourselves actually quite competitive in League One. We are finding ourselves currently quite competitive in League One, but we found out in the last episode when we played Tottenham that we're not even close to that level yet. And certainly, I'm sure if we come up against the Championship side in the FA Cup at some point this season, we will find ourselves on the back foot in that competition as well. But for the time being, you guys have been putting in your press conference questions. Thank you for that. It was a new feature as per the suggestion in the comment section, and I have 3 questions to respond to today, starting with a question from Real Bob Jeg. If you put PCQ in your comment in the comment section down below, then I know that that's a question for the press conference. So please keep those coming in. Today we're saying thank you to Bob actually on the board behind me, as well as Crankador and the name has escaped me, and Abelman Sai. Thank you very much indeed for your continued support. Bob's question, I'll pop it on screen if I could do it in editing, says, in that game against Burton, you struggled to score the decisive goal, although having plenty of chances to do so. Do you ever worry that your strikers are not clinical at times? Our strikers have shown that they can be clinical, but there's also certainly room for improvement. I'm sure they wouldn't take anything to heart if I said that we know that there are higher levels to go to. Whether the players we currently have can reach those levels, we shall wait and see as the season progresses. But certainly, we believe in the talent we have at the club at the moment to do the job for our aspirations at the level we're at right now. What happens in the future, happens in the future. But for the time being, I do have faith that the strikers we have at the club can be clinical enough for us to achieve our goals this season. Question 2 comes from Abelman Sai. Says, with his red hair and his much darker beard, Brophy is a hit with the ladies. Do you fear off-the-pitch distractions might interfere with his performances? Great question. I think that James Brophy is the highest level of professional, and any off-field distractions won't detract from his on-field performances. We have faith that he has the right mentality to be able to bring what he needs to the pitch week in, week out, regardless of what's going on with his lower half off the pitch. And a final question from Isaac77 today says, will you look for a dunk successor in the market or trust in your scouts? Ultimately, after more than a decade at the club, there is no successor to Harrison Dunk. He is a one-of-a-kind professional for Cambridge United, and as far as I'm concerned, we should build a statue outside the stadium commemorating his services to Cambridge United Football Club. Harrison Dunk is Mr. Cambridge United. Press conference dealt with. Let's crack on with the football then, shall we? We will be simulating this first game against Lincoln in the Cup. Of course, you can see that they're playing a 5-back. They are a side in our division. we have other sides in our division and outside of our division in the group stage of the Bristol Street Motors Trophy, but it's a competition we don't really care about, haven't really done that well in, and with this quick sim here with a rotated 11, we do pick up a point, but it's not going to be enough to see us through in that competition, but we're not really that bothered about not going through. We're going to make sure that everybody is fully fit for the next fixture in the league, which is at home against Wigan. They have 16 points, but of course we did deduct 8 points from them, so actually they've earned 24 and find themselves currently down much further down the table in 18th, but they should be on 24 points and just a point outside the playoffs if they didn't have their financial irregularities off the pitch. So a very capable side. 4-3-3 for Wigan. Sessegnon at right back. They've got Tickle in goal. Humphreys up top with Brennan and Smith either side of him. Quality squad, quality team. Will be tough, but I have faith that our squad can do the business here and plough on with him in the squad. It's a good run here by Smith, and Wigan now looking to create the first chance of the game. The game has been very devoid of chances thus far, but it's not anymore because Wigan take a 1-0 lead. Humphreys, I believe it was, on his left-hand side, slots it into the back of the net. Indeed he did. It's loose from Smith with only 1 minute added on at the end of the half. Is there going to be time for us to get the ball forward to try and get something before the break? Soleil could go for a run for me, and he has done. I see the space on the far side for Brophy. The ball will reach him. Got Lancaster in the middle, and we'll just deliver it early. And Lancaster's there! Oh, imagine. We think goal of the season is already decided with that Adam May goal a couple of days ago. But if that goes in, that could have rivaled it, certainly. 1-0 down at the break. Here's Humphreys. And inside to Smith, and they're in the box again here, Wigan, and we might be in trouble. He's got options square. He should have used them. Really should have used them. Takes the shot on himself. Pretty selfish to do so with at least one, if not two players square for a simple tap-in. Wigan could have doubled their advantage. They haven't. They'll still look to do so, though, and Watts will float that over the top. Brought down well by Brennan, and he finds Humphreys, but he misses the target. And Elias Kachunga. Thomas looking for Kachunga again. Kachunga could look for Gassan. He has looked for Gassan. He won't find him. Brophy get it into the middle though. And Thomas! Tickle with a save. Good effort. Well stopped. No goal for George Thomas on this occasion. Doesn't seem to matter how much power I put on a corner. It almost always seems to go towards Gassan. That was cleared by the defender. And will be done so again. Oh, what a save by Tickle. It's fallen free. Jack Lancaster, the right man in the right place at the right time. Little bit of a Diogo Jota celebration, and Cambridge are level against Wigan. A slice of luck we desperately needed here. Good save from Tickle to begin with, but Lancaster couldn't miss. Brilliant leap by Zeno. Excellent domination of his opponent there. Thomas looking over the top for Gassan, who could be on the end of it. The volley! Oh! What a save by Tickle. Was destined for the bottom corner. Cambridge United looking for the winner in the final moments. Humphreys with the header. Thomas will get to this first. Danny Andrews got plenty of options on the edge of the box. Unfortunately, they all appear to be centre-backs. Lancaster again. Kachunga keeps the possession in our hands. We're at our feet. George Thomas beats one, beats two. Beats the post. That'll be game at 1-1, I think, with only 1 minute remaining. And there does go the final whistle. It's back-to-back draws for Cambridge United. We've not had that all season long. Wigan were the better side, but we found a way through and could well have won it at the death there. That effort from Gassan, who was brilliantly saved by Tickle down low at the near post, was very, very well done indeed. Gillingham actually can have Macaulay Bond back. The only reason Cambridge ended up with Macaulay Bond in the first place is because we got injuries to Fajiri Okunabiri and Gassan and Sekou Jana. Hence the signing of Lyle Taylor on a free in real life and the loaning in of Macaulay Bond. We don't actually need any of those players at this stage. We're focusing currently on Gassan, who's been, I think, our best goal scorer so far, along with James Brophy. Another 5-back in this division. Carlisle, despite being in 16th place in the table, have won 3 of their last 5 games. They got relegated in real life, so they're a side that we imagine that we should be able to get a result against. We've got Thomas Holy in goal, who's the big 6'8" or 6'9" goalkeeper. We'll throw Gibbons in for Bennett here, give Bennett a bit of a rest, and we'll throw May in alongside Digby on this occasion. Thomas is up to 65 rated, I've just noticed there. We are, of course, limiting our players to growing by 3 only per season, unless they've won an award at the end of the season prior. So we will keep an eye on all of the growth. A 2-0 win here against Carlisle, which is an expected result. Brophy with another one, Gassan with another one. They're both fighting for the top goal scorer spot here in the squad so far this season, both now with 5 apiece. We were going to sim this next game against Lincoln as well and play Portsmouth away at Fratton Park, of course, in the game, and then Bolton at home. International break, though, apparently, in the meantime, so we're going to actually have everybody be fully fit by the time we get there. Lincoln then in League One. We are still in the top 2 just, despite those back-to-back draws and then victory against Carlisle, but Derby are hot on our heels, and Bolton, who we have at the end of the episode today, are running away with things at the top of the table, with 4th placed Portsmouth coming up after this game against Lincoln as well. So it's not going to get any easier anytime soon. We just drew 0-0 with Lincoln in the Bristol Street Motors Trophy. Obviously, we were playing a heavily rotated side for that game. Now we're back to full strength. We get the victory. They missed a penalty, though, in the 78th minute. And Jordan Cousins, with just moments to go in the 89th minute, bagged the win. Portsmouth missing 3 players through international duty. Evans, Lane and White, all not available for them. Their form has been wobbling of late. Look, 2 draws and 2 defeats in their last 4 games. Got Bishop up top. Marlon Pack in the midfield is a very solid player. Former Cambridge goalkeeper Will Norris in goal is very decent indeed. Pat Harris on the bench. Former Brentford man, I want to say, as well as Sadie on the bench, who's particularly fast in a straight line, that's for sure. So they have a very good team, and they're playing at a very decent stadium for the level as well. Everybody's fully fit now, though, after that big break. So fingers crossed we can get a decent result. It's almost everybody in the squad, apart from Zeno and Bennett, are 64 rated right now. Guess what our average squad rating is going to be? Away we go. Oh, Jack's stolen it back off them there. And we're going to have Gassan alongside with me. Surely that is all their own doing. Gassan Ahadme extends his advantage as our top goal scorer this season. And Portsmouth shot themselves in the foot at Fratton Park. Back to Yengi again. And Morel. Yengi again, worry about the ball to the number 9. Worry about the shot as well. Now, there it comes. Stevens in the way. What? Oh. I tried to step in and get a block on the shot. And the referee has called for a free kick very much on the edge of the box. Couldn't get much closer. No yellow card, though. Referee pushing the wall back here. Never actually let that cutscene play out like that before. What can Marlon Pack do from here? Can't get much closer without it being a penalty. Will it end up in the back of the net? They're going to lay it off. No, looks like Pack's going to go for goal. And Stevens leaping away. Gets a fist to it, knocks it straight up in the air, and then gathers it in at the second attempt. Robertson and Morel couldn't quite get there with Digby. Colby Bishop can't get past Big Zeno. Might not be massively highly rated, Zeno Ibsen Rossi, but throws his physicality about, and he is a difficult defender to try and get round. Defended very well so far in this game against Portsmouth, and it was only their one mistake, really, that allowed us in for the goal. Other than that, it's not been that much action. Morel to Colby Bishop. Now watch them bang this in the back of the net. No, Bishop fires it well wide and he's furious with himself. And to be fair, rightly so. That much time and space on the edge of the box for a player of that quality should be at least hitting the target. Gassan couldn't find Lancaster with a header. And his our mistake going to lead to a goal at the other end now. Lang in the box. Lots of support. Marlon Pack with a square. I think he's offside. I don't think it's going to count. Marlon Pack's first effort. How he's sliced this so horribly wide, I've no idea. It's definitely not a shot. Turns out it was a sensational squared ball across the box to the man at the back post. But that man at the back post was offside. No equaliser for Portsmouth here. Digby trying to get out to him. It's a nice ball into the gap to Yengi, who's had one disallowed already. Looking to try and find one that will count for his team. Moxon from the edge of the box. Again, wide of the target from Portsmouth, but we're resorting them to taking shots from distance here. Space for Colby Bishop. And Robertson here. Straight at the keeper. That's the last chance they're probably going to get. You see top left, the time's ticking away from them. And our first game in a real-life ground is going to end in victory for Cambridge United. We'll just pass the ball about and waste the time. And 3 points on the way. It's been a little while since we've tasted 3 points in a played game, with draws against Wigan, draws against Reading. But back-to-back winning games thanks to the simulation against Carlisle. And Lincoln, actually, as well. So our march continues towards the championship. But at the moment, you'd be pretty sure that rather than in the usual typical FC fashion of promotion, this would probably be more like promotion lower mid-table at best, given the quality of the squad that we currently have. And I was just saying to live chat, not sure whether it will be in the earlier part of the previous highlight, but even when we look to improve the squad in the summer, we're not going to be able to sign anyone that's higher rated than our current highest rated player, which is 67 Bennett at the moment. And because of the restrictions we've got in place from the rule set where they're not allowed to grow by any more than 3, he will at most be 69 rated by the end of the season. So our growth will be good, but not as good as it potentially could be. But that's because we're wanting a more realistic progression curve. Up next, Bolton at home, before we then face them again in the Cup. 2 very difficult games. Bolton only drew on match day 19 after losing match day 18, and the gap is just 2 points now. Derby stay 3 points behind us, and Bolton, who were running away with the league, if we win this next one, might not even be top anymore. It'll be a remarkable turnaround. We look destined for at least the playoffs at the moment, given the way the first half of the season has gone thus far, although obviously our results are taking a slight turn, given the more and more difficult sliders. Baxter in goal for them. Jack Iredale, who Cambridge played at left back, is at centre back for them. They are missing Charles and Sheehan through international duty as well. That might be a contributory factor to their dip in form. You see no win in the last 4, a draw, 2 defeats and another draw. Adebayejo up top is a man that has played for Cambridge United in real life as well, and in one of our RTGs with Cambridge previously as well. Aaron Morley in the middle is very good. Magoma's solid too. Ramsey at right back is going to be particularly... This is just a good side, isn't it, for Bolton? It's a great ball through to Victor Adebayejo. Finish. Well, just as Portsmouth gifted us an early 1-0 lead, we've done the same to Bolton. Okadina in the way of the pass initially, and then in the process of turning to try and then play a pass, giving the ball away. Sometimes you just need to play the way you're facing, and that's exactly what I should have done there. Not great goalkeeping, but that's the game being the game. Okay. Are we seeing why Bolton are top of the table? Morley. Player we signed in a Cambridge save once, I think, Aaron Morley, as a squad midfielder. Dempsey. It's loose from Bolton. It's loose from me. Mistakes all round so far in today's episode, aren't there? From everybody. Okadina has the strength to hold off the attentions of Adam May. He did beg to play this game. Ashworth in the box now. Okadina with him. That's the inside to Adebayejo. And Okadina loses out again! It's 2-0 Bolton. It's Victor Adebayejo. Won the ball back, and for a second time, Okadina not doing what he needs to quickly enough, just getting out-muscled. Couldn't get it under control. Slammed home at the near post by Adebayejo, who just reacted to the loose ball quicker. Yikes. Collins. Oh, burst the pace. That was nice. Where's he going? Back here to Adebayejo. Can we out-muscle the man? No. Calvin Ramsey. Calvin Ramsey. Calvin Ramsey. Bolton are simply better. So they've won that back. If Gassan can make me the run. And here comes Harrison Dunk. Scored some very, very important goals for Cambridge United last season. But he can't set one up here. Soleil's header, nowhere near as good as it needed to be. Tamely slices off his forehead and goes wide. Not good enough in any regard in this game, that's for sure. So let's won that back. Gassan. We're back in it. Maybe. If Gassan can finish, which indeed he can. All right. Okay. This is turning into quite the entertaining top-of-the-table clash, isn't it? We are back. I wouldn't say in the game, but we're not as out of the game as we were. 3-1 now. Oh, well in, Jack. It's excellent from Lancaster. And Harrison Dunk can get away here. And he might be in his early 30s, Harrison, but he's still got the legs. Harrison Dunk draws the save out of Baxter. Great ball, by the way, AJ through to Dempsey. Dempsey to Morley, Morley to Collins. And Collins surely is going to make it 4. Which he duly does. We have been humbled at home here. Bolton batter us. Cambridge crumble. We won't be going top. And Jackson down the line. Looking into the middle for Fajiri, who actually would have been well positioned for the knockdown if he hadn't committed to try and get to the first ball. Harris Magoma out to Jack Iredale, and it has been very much a back down to earth kind of result here, hasn't it? This is the sort of form that we expected this season, with the way that results have gone today. Wins against those that we should be winning against, and results that aren't ideal against the teams that we should be having poorer results against. We get a consolation goal, and goal difference could be important at the end of the season. It's a great header by Saleh Kaiko, who had a poor header earlier on, but lovely ball by Liam Bennett. Excellent crossing, as we have come to expect from the young man. Textbook header down into the ground, but still doesn't take away from the fact it's been a poor showing here against Bolton. They will extend their lead at the top of the table again. Their wobble is over. And it is the humbling, despite the narrowing of the scoreline. It's only ever been going one way. 2 mistakes from Triple Ocadina in the first half. Ultimately, the deciding factor in this one. The fans have already disappeared from the stands, as you can see. And Bolton will go back home very, very pleased indeed with a good evening's work. And who have we got in the FA Cup next to start tomorrow's episode? Them again. £95,000 made from the game against Portsmouth with an attendance of 7,528, which is very, very high. Although apparently there is a difference of 8 people between the stadium maintenance. Maybe the people that came in and did the stadium maintenance were those extra 8 employees that count towards the match attendance. For at least that one anyway. That was weird. That's very strange. Well, up next for us then at the beginning of the next episode is Bolton again in the FA Cup second round. In League One, we drop out of the top 2 now. Derby have gone above us on goal difference. Got the same defensive record, but they've scored more goals than us. Really tidy gap, though, back to the playoffs, or the rest of the playoffs, sorry, where the 3 sides below us all sit locked at 34 points. We currently have an 11-point gap down to Peterborough in 7th. So there's still a long way to go. We're still 3 games away from the halfway point in this season. Obviously, we've made things more difficult now. We did do quite a bit of testing with the gameplay prior to the beginning of the save, but evidently as the save progresses and more career mode mechanic functions come in with form and morale, etc., the gameplay changes slightly. So we have had to adjust, but we have adjusted accordingly. We find ourselves... You're upside down, mate. Find ourselves in still a very decent position, but with a defeat there and a draw against Wigan and draws against Reading and Bristol Rovers as well, the results aren't all going our way anymore, but that's probably for the betterment of the save, really, isn't it? So thank you very much for watching today. I very much appreciate your support as ever. Do join me tomorrow for Friday's episode of this realistic road to glory. Of course, the Formula 1 content is going up on the second channel now, so do make sure you check that out. Link in the description down below to the Chesnoid Plays channel. Do join me on stream. Leave your press conference questions in the comment section down below as well, and I'll see you next time.